All right. Welcome back to Chi-Town Lowdown. This is our picks against the spread segment. Week 8 coming up. The Bears are back in action, so we're looking forward to that. Before we get started, we will go over our picks from last week, even though I don't really want to bring it up. I was four for 15. I did hit my lock, so I really only got 3 out of the 15 games right.
Bro.
So that brings my total for the year to 52 out of 104, right at 50%. Wargo was 7 for 15 for a total of 49 out of 104 for the year. And Luke and Tom still on their hot streaks. They were 10 for 15, and they're both at 57 for 104, which I think is 54.8% on the year. So
I think we had a couple different games in there too. It wasn't like the same games.
Yeah. Tom did hit his lock on Baltimore.
2 in a row, baby.
In that blowout. Wargo and Luke both missed their locks on the Jets over the Steelers on Sunday night. So 2 locks hit, 2 didn't. Hopefully we can be better for you this week and get you 4 locks to increase your wallets on your preferred betting app here. All right. Before we get started here, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Go check out our other video.
Secondary flagship segment. Of course, we do the Bears recap videos where we talk about the Bears games, talk about the matchup coming up. In the last one that we just put out, that will be our look ahead to the Commanders. So make sure you check that out as well. But yeah, to kick us off here tomorrow night, Thursday night, Minnesota's traveling to LA to play the Rams, who are currently 2.5 point underdogs at home.
Yeah, I'll start. I like to do that. I would say that Minnesota, short week. I mean, they all have short weeks, I guess. But I think Minnesota's going to come back with a vengeance, and 2.5 doesn't seem like enough, even with Cooper Kupp possibly coming back. I think Sam Darnold's going to throw all over these guys. Minnesota.
Okay. Minnesota.
I'm also on Minnesota. I think we were kind of talking about it on the Bears look ahead podcast that you guys can check out. The division is really tough right now, and I think that despite losing that game to Detroit last week, Minnesota has nothing to hang their heads about. They played really well with a really good team, and a team that a lot of people have picked to go to the Super Bowl this year, and obviously went to the NFC Championship last year and gave them a run for their money. So they're playing Jared Goff in a dome, which Jared Goff in a dome is zero electricity.
He's
and they almost beat him.
Type numbers right now.
Yeah, they almost beat him. So I like them to bounce back here against a beat up team. Even if, like you said, Tom, getting Kupp back would be huge for this team. But I still like Minnesota to cover the spread here.
We'll go. You got something to say?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota. I'm just going to pick every single pick that Luke does this week and see how that pans out.
But I think you said that last week, and then
this will be the first ever week that somebody goes over 16. That's gonna be
What about the Detroit hangover, Wargo?
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's just not applicable here.
I did hear about that, dude. Maybe it was from you. It might have been from you.
The Rams are just, I mean, they're just not a good team. I think it was you, Tom, that called out their offensive line. It's just not good. And Minnesota's defense is way too good. So, yeah
they just fly around. They're like the Baltimore offense.
Yeah, it's insane to watch.
This line seems really unusual with how both of these teams have been playing.
Agreed.
The Rams didn't cover last week against the Raiders. They are getting Cooper Kupp back. They are at home.
Isn't Stafford beat up a little bit?
The Detroit hangover, though, is that a real thing? I don't even know. I was just trying to fact check that. And for those of you that don't know, there is a theory that the week after a team plays the Detroit Lions, they typically lose because they're so physical. They bang up on their opponents so much that they come out a little bit slow and sluggish.
When a guy is banging you,
with this with this line where it is, though, I don't see that being a thing here. I think Minnesota's the superior team, so I'm going to go with them as well. So we're all on Minnesota. Kind of scary to start us off here.
The
But
Rams are going to win by 2 touchdowns. I'd like to see run those.
They don't have enough of
where we're at on the year when we're all on the same side, because it's been pretty, just based off my own memory, pretty skewed. When we go all on the same side of the game, it's shocking how often it goes the other way.
Yeah.
If you were looking for an indicator, that would be one for sure.
I tried to play on that last week, and
you tried to freak on it,
and I was it didn't pay off for me. So moving on. Green Bay at Jacksonville +4. Jacksonville's playing better, right? Seems like, well, they played New England last week in London, but they won pretty convincingly. It was a little bit of a slow start for them. New England went up 10-0, and then from there it was all Jags. It was all Trevor Lawrence, and their defense played a little bit better against a young Drake May. Green Bay is a different animal here. It is in Jacksonville, but I don't see how the Jags keep up with Jordan Love and that high-powered offense. LaFleur does a great job getting his team ready. We saw that in those 2 weeks where Malik Willis stepped in and was able to go 2-0 while Jordan Love was nursing that knee. So I just don't see how the Jags keep it close, really. So, Luke just touched on it. This NFC North division is just a powerhouse this year. So I'm going to go Green Bay on this one.
Yeah, I would say, when in doubt, don't bet against the NFC North. So I'm going to pick the Packers. I've kind of been on a Packers streak here. I feel like I've been pretty consistent with them. Doug Peterson, Matt LaFleur. He is kind of coaching for his job. I think at some point,
won a Super Bowl, one is not.
Yes, but I'm saying right now,
that's fair.
I think that Doug Peterson at some point is going to lose his job, unfortunately, and it's kind of desperation time in Jacksonville, and Green Bay is just going to stomp that out.
I just did some quick math here. The NFC North against the spread this year is 19-6.
You didn't do that.
Wow.
Math. No way.
That's crazy.
The Bears, the Lions, and the Vikings are all 5-1, and the Packers are 4-3. So, if you had to pick on one team against the spread in the NFC North, obviously the Packers have been the ones showing the weakness here. But
Jesse,
I don't think this
is
is
out like that, and it makes me want to change my mind.
I just look at this
making
more
sure you're informed.
Thank you.
As a tough point in the year for the Jaguars. Obviously, they have not had a great year, but they're also coming off 2 straight weeks in London. And typically, if my memory serves me correct, like generally that's an auto buy. Like if you want the buy, the NFL will give you the buy coming off of that. And they didn't want that apparently. So not only are you doing that overseas trip, you're coming back and immediately just going against a very competent team, a competent coach. And I gotta think that they're going to be a little bit, worn out right now. So I'm just going to take Green Bay here and not think about it too hard. I don't love that 4-3 against the spread for Green Bay. But yeah, this just feels right to take them here against Jacksonville.
We're going to stick it up.
We're going to do us a favor and just take Jacksonville so we don't all start 0 for 2.
You're going to make me start quoting Scarface again. No,
never seen
I will not take Jacksonville. I'm looking for any sort of reason to do so. The reason that I'm not doing so is not against the spread, is not any of that information, though I do think that it is pertinent to the decision-making process. It is the coverage stat. Jacksonville is very poor in coverage. I just had it pulled up. Where are they at? 27th in the NFL in their coverage defense. So Jordan Love, pretty good at throwing balls downfield. So
yeah,
they got some fast guys.
Sorry.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
Bad guy.
I think we may be able to dub week 8 as the week of the big spread, and we're going to get into one here, but we have 6 games that are 7 or more points.
God, I hate those, dude.
First one here, Tennessee at Detroit, minus 11 points.
Oh, yikes.
We're going.
Oh, man. I'll take the cheese here. I want to take the Lions. Will Levis is still out, right? AC joint. I mean, when you're lowering your shoulder like that, like he's just not NFL big, you know?
Him and Richardson need to.
He runs angry.
I mean,
take a hit.
He does. But
he was limited at practice today.
Mason Rudolph is who they've got.
Yep. So these teams, obviously, we talked about the Lions 5-1 against the spread. Titans are on the opposite end of that, 1-5 against the spread currently, which warrants this large line.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the Titans getting in there and stinking things up a bit, but Jared Goff at home, I'll take the points. Yeah, 11.5 or minus 11.5. Give me Detroit.
Minus 11.
I said I'll take the points, but yeah,
this one's tough. Like, because I want to be like, oh, the Titans' defense is good, but then they sucked last week. They gave up. They just seem like they're not like they were the first couple weeks because they realized that their team is
Mason Rudolph on the other side.
Is ass.
I was listening to the PFF grading podcast on Monday, and they talked about this Bills-Titans game. And in the first half, Josh Allen had 85 passing yards. The Titans were up, I want to say, by a field goal at halftime. And then, the whole first half they played zone. Didn't play man coverage at all. And then for whatever reason in the second half, they started playing man coverage. And that was when the Bills offense started clicking. And there was also a monumental momentum shift where the Titans went for it on the first drive coming out of halftime on 4th down in their own territory, and they didn't get it. And then the Bills scored right away, and that kind of the floodgates were opened, right? But they did play one good half of football against the Bills. They just haven't been able to do that for 4 quarters. So, Tom, I see what you're saying, but
they have the fight to go and do this to the Titans or the Lions. It's tough. Well, who
11
you pick?
points. 11 points is a lot. I tried to pick against these big spreads last week, and it didn't work out for me. Tennessee I picked over Buffalo. You were all 3 of you were on Buffalo. I need them to show me that they can do it for 4 quarters before I can put a pick on them. So, obviously this Detroit offense is super high powered. I think it's, you could argue it's much better than Buffalo's offense. So, and Detroit's at home. I think they were in Buffalo last week, but I got to go with Detroit here. I can't pick Tennessee again.
Luke?
Detroit. Jared Goff in the dome.
I was gonna pick the Titans, but I'm like, I just picture myself on the couch watching this game. If I were to watch this game, Mason Rudolph, and then the Lions offense, like they're just gonna come down and just score at will, I feel like. I don't know. Just based on what I saw last week from the Lions and the week before that, it's just like I can see this thing getting out of hand, like 42-14 type stuff.
Yeah. I think one comparative stat between the two teams, or contrasting, whatever you want to call it, stat, that sticks out to me is Tennessee's pass rush grade via PFF, which is, I think, 28th. And, if there's been one thing that has affected Jared Goff in his career, it's when people can get pressure on him. And that's what really seems to kind of throw him for a loop. It just, if they aren't able to do that,
no pressure getting to him.
I don't see any way that Tennessee can keep this close.
He might go 18 for 18. Montgomery's going to have 2 TDs and Gibbs touchdown.
So three games down, we're all unanimous on each of those 3 games, and coincidentally, they're all 3 NFC North companions to the Chicago Bears. So if we're looking to, as Bears fans,
there's no way we go 3 for 3 on these games.
Yeah.
So
before we go forward, does anybody want to go back and change their pick on any one of those games?
Who are the Packers playing again?
The Jags. +4.
Oh, you know what?
On the road.
Put me on there, dude. Give me the Jags. Screw it.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll try
Thank you
it.
for doing that.
That's
awesome.
I mean, if I'm going to pick one of those teams, it's going to be the one that actually looks like they have an offense sometimes and a pretty good quarterback. So,
all right, thank you, Tom, for that. May pay off for you there. The Bears, obviously, they need to make some headway in this division, and that means that some of these teams have to lose. But this week, it doesn't look likely. We'll see. Baltimore at Cleveland +8.5 points. Divisional matchup here.
Jameis has got to be playing in this game.
Yep.
So that's all I need to know, really.
Yep.
And I mean, I obviously have this Jameis shtick, right? Like, I've always liked Jameis. He's just a goofball, but he also is like a gamer, right? Like,
team player.
He seems like a really good teammate. Had some interesting words regarding Deshaun Watson's injury last week, and obviously
those weird glasses on, freaking me out. Dude.
Browns fans cheering for that injury was just weird to see.
What do you think Nick was doing? Was he cheering at his house?
Nick was probably not cheering.
Yeah.
But with that being said, don't need to get into the Deshaun Watson stuff, but I think this is good for the Browns franchise and for Browns fans. Like, end this chapter, put this behind you. Do not even entertain the idea of Deshaun ever coming back and playing for this team again. This is your out, right? Like, if he stayed healthy, there's always the conversation of, like, you paid him all that money. The NFL prints money. So I don't want to hear people saying, well, you paid this. It doesn't matter if you paid him. If it's the wrong decision, and this was, it was wrong on a fundamental human basis. Put football aside, okay? Take your out and be done with this, and start Jameis for the rest of the year, okay? Do yourself a favor, okay? And, I'm going Cleveland here. I think they're going to rally around that. What happened, getting booed by a home crowd last week, and I think they're going to compete with Baltimore in a division game. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll cover.
Yeah, to go off of that, I'm going to pick the Browns as well. 8 points is a lot, just especially in a divisional game like this. Baltimore is hot, and I hate to go against them. But they're going to get the Jameson bump here. And their defense is still pretty good. Jameis.
Jameis.
No A.
Thomas.
Yeah, I just think I think this might be the wrong pick, but I feel
It's not.
you know what I do? I go off of feeling, and this is my feeling game.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I mean, and Luke, to your point about the Browns needing to move on, I get that as well. But the cap hit that they have to take next year and in 2026 for his contract, I think next year is $72 million. I think in 2026, I want to say it's like 89 or something crazy like that. When you're talking about that amount of money,
$1 million.
Jesse froze for anybody else.
Yeah, he's pretty frozen, but we can hear him still.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you allocate that amount of money to one position on a team, it's really difficult to say we're going to close the chapter. And
Jesse, don't say allocate. Just
anyways, I Baltimore is the hottest team, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. You could argue the hottest team. They're so hot right now.
Oh my God, so
read
hot.
my mind.
Lamar is playing at an MVP level once again. Just unreal what he's able to do out on a football field with other professional athletes to make them look like they aren't in the same league or they shouldn't be in the same league as him. So I've picked against Baltimore a couple times this year and it hasn't worked out for me. I'm going to go with Baltimore this week as well. I just don't think Cleveland's going to have enough to stop them offensively. And Baltimore's defense has been playing really well too. So I will take Baltimore.
Before you pick Wargo, on Jesse's note, right then, I just want to echo what he's saying about Lamar looking like just to the human eye, just looking different while playing a game with a bunch of people who are world-class athletes. And just like, if you were watching football for the first time, you'd be like, who's that guy? Why? People, for a long time are like, oh, he's like video game moves, right? Video games haven't even caught up with being able to, like, you can't make video games look like Lamar. That's how shifty he is. Like, it is literally incredible how he moves. Taking the Browns to cover, though. Just had to throw that in there because I just remember thinking that touchdown run he had where he just jumped over a guy, like, it was so nonchalant to do for him, but it's just like I would have like broken 3 bones just trying to do what he had done, and it was like walking to him. So
yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore.
I'm switching my pick as well. I can't go against.
Yeah, you see, this is how I do it. This is how I win right here. Sell the other team, and then you're the only one picking on the other side.
Put me on Baltimore. I feel like I've been picking Baltimore almost every time, and they haven't let me down. Like, so,
Jesse,
that's what got me.
You want to come over and be with your bro?
No.
All right.
Yeah, it was also funny to see at the end of that Buccaneers Ravens game on Monday night. They kept going to the sideline of Lamar at the end of the game when the Buccaneers were like trying to get back into the game when it was clearly over, and he was just like, "Come on, like what are they doing?"
He was smiling, dude. He was just having a great time.
He was ready to get out of there. Yeah. Next game, divisional matchup, Indianapolis at Houston, -5. This is a rematch of the first game of the year for each of these teams. So we're starting to get into some of these divisional matchups that are rehashing, those games from earlier in the year. So they have seen each other to this point. I think, Houston's lost Nico Collins. Anthony Richardson obviously was out for a couple games, and now there's I got to imagine some conversations about who is the best quarterback for this team in this specific year. Obviously, Anthony Richardson is the future of the franchise. But if they are looking to, win games and make a playoff push, I gotta think Flacco is the best option for this Indianapolis offense, in my opinion. I don't think though that they're gonna give Flacco that opportunity. I think they're gonna say, why would we do that when we have Anthony Richardson? He needs to develop. He needs to figure out how to put some touch on the ball. That's obviously been a big problem for him. So having said that, this was a close game in that first week of the season. Houston did win, I think, by a couple points in Indianapolis. Now we're seeing them 5-point favorites at home. I am going to take Houston here because Anthony Richardson is going to be starting at quarterback. I just don't think he has the confidence or the ability to play at a level to keep them in this game. And having said that, it sounds kind of silly because he was the quarterback in the first game as well. But it seems like there's some other things going wrong with Indianapolis. So I'll take Houston.
Is Pittman playing? I think he's questionable. This is I want to pick Houston, but I also don't want to pick all the favorites. And that's just my mind playing.
You still got time. You still got time to pick not favorites.
I know, but my mind is like, you need to pick
to Jacksonville. You switch to Jacksonville. Joe.
You're right.
Your mind's telling you no, but your body.
My body. Let me
Vibes, Tom. We know this.
All right. My vibes are telling me, Houston, because what Jesse just said about the quarterback situation. If Flacco was starting, I think I would pick the Colts here, and the line would probably be a little bit closer. But I have Anthony Richardson on my fantasy bench. Picked him probably 5th or 6th overall. I know how bad he is.
Fifth round.
Whatever. Everybody thought he was going to do better than this. And he, like you said, is so inaccurate, and you can't be that as a quarterback in the NFL. You'll make turnovers. It doesn't make sense that they're starting him. I mean, it kind of does on their end, but no, in my opinion, it's just get Flacco in there, dude. He's got 1-2 more good years. Let the kid learn.
So, who are you picking?
Houston.
We're good.
Colts are 6-1 against the spread.
You stole my stat, you son of a gun. You stole my stat. 2-1.
Couple Colt boys, huh? Colt 45s?
2-1 against the spread against Houston since the beginning of last year. Obviously, this will be the 4th game played between the two teams since the start of last year and since the start of CJ taking over for that team. So they have the edge historically, although short history. But Morgo, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there. But
No. That is good. I like that you took it another layer deeper on the layer cake there.
CJ Stroud was bad last week.
He got banged up a little bit too.
Yeah, he was running for his life.
Should I take Indianapolis?
The line has also moved from Houston -6 to it opened at a larger spread.
I
don't know if you guys can tell. I'm on Indy. By the way.
I'm on Indy too. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Luke. Let's go.
I can see Houston beating them by a touchdown.
Jesse has a look on his face of just it's not right now, but once we get through 2 more picks, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna switch on that Houston Indy game.
Jesse's got a pretty good poker face, but you can see it in his eyes. Something about their eyes.
Just know
this is hard. This is hard what we do.
It is.
One thing that's different.
We should.
From our
like and subscribe. Maybe we can get paid.
One thing that's different from our podcast is we're not afraid to pick all the games, right?
Well, we are.
We were talking. No, we're not afraid. That's why we do it every week. If you
built different.
If you look around at some of these other podcasts that you may listen to, there's guys, oh, well, I lean this team, or I want to pass on this game. I don't like the line.
No passing.
We're not doing any of that. We're picking the games for better or for worse. And right now, 2 of the 4 of us are above 50%. I'm at 50%. If you take my lock bonus points away, I am not, but I'm pretty close. So we're going to pick all the games because that's how we do it on Chi-Town Lowdown.
Well said.
I'm sticking with Houston.
Yeah. Houston boys, Colt 45.
Next game, Jets at New England, plus 7 points.
New England's plus 7? Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go first here, and I'm a Drake May believer. I think he is playing well. And I think I picked the Jets the last 2 weeks, and they'll probably bite me in the ass this week. But it's like, I hate that team. I hate what they are. I hate them. And it could be Aaron Rodgers, but as a football player, their whole team is pointing the fingers at each other, and just like they have no cohesiveness. They just have a bunch of players playing out there. They're not a team, and that bothers me. Like, even watching them, it's like they went up last week by 2 touchdowns almost, and then they just throw the game away, and that's hard to do. And it's like, I think this Drake May team can put up some points, and that defense might play a little better than last week, and they're going to cover.
I'm going to be stubborn. I'm just going to keep picking the Jets.
That's probably right.
No, I think you made a lot of good points there. Really, you were swaying my opinion quite a ways. Where it is a different team under Drake May, and it seems like just guys show up to play a little bit more so when he's at the helm so far, or so it may seem to me at least. But
Hunter Henry's playing well. I watched a little bit of that.
Yeah, but A-Raj, he's got to figure it out eventually. He can't just keep losing and
I think
everybody.
I think they're basically going to be, unless they win every game, which is very unlikely looking at their schedule, I don't see them making the playoffs. And that's unfortunate for the Jets fans. But, it's a real possibility that they're not going to be in the playoffs.
At least he'll have an ownership stake in the team that will be in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Chicago Bears.
Oh, zing, dog.
Except he said that he owns us, but.
Face, bud.
Why would you bring that up?
Hope you like that, A-Raj. I'm sure you're listening to this right now. Tom, good for you. You made a slight distinction when you were saying you hate Aaron Rodgers, and then you said as a football player.
Yep.
It is so tempting for me to just take that one step further because I really dislike this guy.
Yeah.
The quote this week, an all-time Rodgers quote, when asked after the game, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't remember what it was exactly, but obviously media reporters are asking, hey, what's going on? How do you fix this? And his first response, he spares Mike Williams' life this week, doesn't just immediately instinctively throw him under the killdozer that is the New York media. He elects to then just say, well, we need to stop listening to you guys. Yeah, the same guys who were picking you to go to the Super Bowl this year, stop listening to them. I mean, this guy is just a moron. I hate him. I hate his guts.
Yeah, we're here.
I really do. He is just, he is locker room cancer.
Has he always been like this?
But I'm taking the Jets this week, -7. It just feels like it's time for them to look good. And, he's going to be on Pat McAfee next week, just and it's going to be disgusting, and I'm going to hate it. But I agree with what you said, Tom. Drake May has looked good. They might have something there, but they don't really have much around him right now. I heard at one point in the offseason that Ramondre Stevenson had somehow earned the nickname The Franchise after getting that deal.
Interesting.
Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. That doesn't seem so fitting because he's dog water.
Yeah. He's got a Fumblerooski problem, doesn't he?
I don't even know what to say about him. But I'm going with the Jets here, -7.
I'm on the Jets as well.
Yeah.
I think they figure it out. I don't know if Hassan Reddick's going to play, but that would be sick.
Yeah,
He
that'd be
reported.
30. I believe that the Jets have the easiest remaining schedule of any team in the NFL as well. So I think that they do
But-
end up making the playoffs here, Tom.
Listen, I think that they have, like, how many games are left? 7 left?
This is week 8, so there's.
I
and
think
then
we still have a bye,
we now
right?
play. We now
Right.
play
17.
17 games, so then 9 weeks.
I'm pretty sure, like, 2 of those are like they're probably not going to win or not be favorites in. And that
Well, then
too.
they're still 10-7, and they make the playoffs.
Let's just get to the bottom of this real quick before we move on, because I really think that
Tom, if you just want to switch to the Jets, we're not going to hold it against you. You can just do it.
So
they
they're
play the Texans,
Yep.
they play the Cardinals, the Colts, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, which will probably have Tua back, the Rams, which will probably be healthy with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. They play the Dolphins again, and they play the Bills. So let's say they lose a game against the Dolphins, they lose a game against the Bills, Seahawks up in the air, and then the Texans up in the air. I mean, I just don't feel it. But go on. Let's go.
All right. Philly at Cincinnati -2.
Were you on the Jets there?
Yes, sir. I was leading the charge.
Go
Philly
ahead.
at Cincy, you said, Jesse?
Philly at Cincy -2.
It always eats on the pod or the whatever this is, the YouTube channel.
Cincinnati is rolling a little bit now. I'm going to take them. Philly's playing better as well, but I think the Bengals have more to lose, sitting at 3-4. So, yeah, give me Joe Burrow.
Come on, Tom. You're
I always go
pipe
second.
up when I ate a pretzel.
Try not to go second. Like, you jump in, dude. I don't like silence.
Luke, let me know who I should pick. You got to go.
Jesse, you said Philly.
I'm on Cincinnati.
You're on Cincy. Okay. This will probably be one of the games I have on the quad box or the duo box this week. Excited for this one. I think this is two teams kind of finding themselves. Obviously, Cincy off to their traditional slow start, but seem to maybe be piecing some things together here. And then Saquon is just another. It's kind of almost in the same realm as Lamar this year, where it's just like he just moves different. He really seems to have like knocked a few years off, and he looks like he did when, Penn State, just coming into the league type of moves he's putting on. And the stuff where it's like, oh, he's going to run out of bounds. Oh no, he just smushed my shit in, because he's not going out of bounds this year. He's going to truck your ass. So buckle your chin strap, baby, because this man is not sidestepping. He's going to run through your face. Love that. But I agree with Jesse. I think Cincy at home needs a win here. Philly in their division with Daniels down is probably not feeling as much pressure as Cincinnati's feeling right now. Philly, it probably knows like, hey, we play well down the stretch. We're going to win this division with how Dallas is playing. Obviously, the Giants are the Giants. And then Washington, who's been a surprise, they are without their potential rookie of the year quarterback. And they might take their foot off the pedal a little bit. So, yeah, I'm going to go Cincy here. I'm with my bro, Brennan.
Tom, Wargo?
I think Cincy really
Should be a
needs
good game.
win.
Well, Wargo's on Cincy since that's what Luke picked. So.
No, I'm fading Luke's dumbass. I'm gonna go with the Eagles, dude. I like he sold me on the pitch. He got me with the old bait and switch. I'm gonna bite on the bait. I like the Eagles and Saquon, and
It's just bait and switch every single game.
I like
Cincinnati needs a win doesn't mean they're gonna get one.
There was a split second when I was talking about Saquon where I was like, "Oh God, you're gonna go Philly here," and then I swerved back into the other lane.
Yeah, this is tough. This might be super wrong, but yeah, I'll go with Philadelphia. Sure.
So this is probably one of the tougher picks this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you got, like you said, the desperation of the Bengals. And at what point are we going to say that the Bengals, you know, aren't that good? Maybe.
They've won 2 in a row, just for the record.
I know, but I'm just saying. It seems.
And they were
The
an inch
Eagles,
from beating Baltimore.
on the other hand, are also getting a little hot. They also played the Giants last week, but Nick Sirianni didn't do anything weird. I saw a clip of him sitting next to Saquon, talking to him about, you know, he's about to have his career high in yards, and if he wants to get it back out there. And Saquon was like, "No, let the other guys eat." That was pretty sweet. You know, maybe a little bit of a connection there between coach and players. Maybe they're finding something. Obviously, Saquon did last week. You know, I want to pick Cincinnati. I think both these teams are getting hot a little bit, maybe. So it's tough. And who's winning? It's Bengals at home by what?
-2.
Who's winning?
Oh shoot. We might have to come back on this one for me. Right now, put me down for the Phillies.
The first ever pass and come back to me later on this. That's a first.
I'm overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. Yeah.
All right, Atlanta at Tampa Bay +2.5.
The line's got to go up, right?
Just for the record, you said Philly there, Tom?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm ready to roll the dice. I'll take Tampa Bay, even with the injuries.
That's what I'm talking about. We're coming out of the gate firing like that. Whew.
Got it. Hell yeah.
Even with the injuries, huh? Like, I feel like that line's got to be higher.
I mean, they're a home dog. They've played well, 4-3 against the spread.
You think those cannons will be shooting?
Yeah, it's not like a crazy distance to travel or anything, you know, Atlanta to Tampa Bay, but yeah, I don't know. Something about it. Sure. I'm getting crazy now.
You got to go with feelings, dude.
Are you a Baker believer? Do you want him on your fantasy team? He could be yours. Just give me Tyreek.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go Atlanta here. Bounce back week for them. They lost last week, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They got their butts kicked by Seattle.
Yeah, I think that this is bounce back. Kirk didn't look great. I did see some clips.
I'm telling you, dude, he doesn't have the zip. He's really having to.
Yeah. Was that because he was injured or because he's old now?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that
he's struggling to push the ball downfield.
You know, they did feed Bijan a lot last game. I think he had like 20 carries. Wow, 100 yards, I think, over 100 yards.
Also for sale.
They lost. They lost. And they did what they're supposed to do. So, you know, I'm still going to take Atlanta here with a banged up Tampa team that just lost all hope last week.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta as well. I'm a Baker believer, but Baker needs weapons to throw the ball to. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are both not going to be playing. Really unfortunate what happened to Chris Godwin at the end of that Baltimore game. He should not have been in there. Todd Bowles, I mean, I get it. You're fighting. You want, you know, everybody wanted to be out there, it looks like. They recovered an onside kick. You know, you're still down by 10 points with like a minute and a half left. It's like just –
I feel
really, really unfortunate.
If he were to kneel there or were to, I don't know. I feel like people would get mad at him for that too. Like, I don't know.
As mad as they would when your best offensive player gets his leg snapped off.
But why would you
40
even go
left.
for it? You're going to go for an onside kick, get the ball back, and take a knee? Like, no.
It's
At least put your backups in. I don't know.
It's that is tough. That's tough image there, and I mean, you see it occasionally. I don't necessarily fault Todd Bowles. Like like Jesse said, your players are probably saying like, we still got a chance here. Like they're fighting. I guarantee you, Chris Godwin wasn't like, hey, what the fuck are we doing out here? Maybe he was. I don't know, but like they got the shot of him coming off the field on the cart, and you can read his lips where he says, time to go to work. It's just like a guy who's saying that as he just got his ankle snapped in a cart getting ready to be taken off the field for the last time in the year, probably wasn't eager to get out of the game and just give up. So I'm not going to put up too much, I'm not going to kill Todd Bowles for that.
Is that the guy? Is he? Yeah, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Never mind.
Please.
I don't know how to word it, and I'm just not going to say it.
Yeah, he's black. You can't say that.
He always just look like mean.
Yes.
He does not enjoy
Todd Bowles is very, doesn't have a ton of expression on his face, but looks like a football guy.
Yeah. Thanks for stepping that out with me.
Yeah. The this one's kind of tough for me. I don't like it. It seems like Tampa Bay has found something with the backs that they have there. With Irving, obviously with White carryover from the last couple of years, but this Sean Tucker kid from Syracuse also seems like he's kind of got some juice as well.
Sean Tucker must have.
What's that?
It's a movie. Sean Tucker must die.
I think that's John. This is Sean.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Shoot.
But if you can kind of lean on that run game, there's a connection there with Sterling Shepard and Baker going back to the Oklahoma days. Maybe some continuity that can be rekindled. Cade Otton's not a bad tight end. No gloves. That's always sick.
He's on my fantasy team, so there's no way he's going to do well.
Cade Otton blew my 6 leg by 4 yards. Love that.
Jalen McMillan, rookie out of Washington, was kind of that 3-headed monster there with Jalen Polk and Rome Odunze last year.
You're on Tampa, aren't you?
I'm kind of talking myself into it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, and this seems like a good opportunity, like to have a rallying cry for Tampa Bay. Like people are gonna dismiss us. We don't have Evans, at least for the near future. Godwin's done. I think they could surprise Atlanta. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to follow Wardo, and I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
Let's go.
Dude, by the looks of that injury, it looks like Mike Evans tore it. But I don't think he was walking, so I don't think it was as bad as he was making it seem. But
you think Mike Evans was being dramatic about his injury, Tom?
No, he's a fierce competitor. I think it hurt. But
that 1,000-yard season consecutive streak may be in jeopardy if he hits the IR for 4 weeks, though. So
not a shot. No. If he could go into the last game of the year with like needing 500 yards, that he would get it. And I would have him on my fantasy team that year, and I would have dropped him at this point, and he'll come back and he will be MVP caliber. Yeah. Just mark my words.
All right. We are halfway through. We got 8 more games to go. Arizona at Miami, -3.5 points. Miami has looked dreadful without Tua. Obviously, he's coming back. He's not wearing a Guardian cap. Personal choice.
Who needs?
Maybe they need to bubble wrap him or something because.
Yeah, I don't think I will be watching this game.
I'll be watching because when he's in and he's got those weapons that he has, it is an exciting offense to watch. But he just doesn't. He can't take contact. Don't try to run the ball.
Throw it away.
Throw it to Reek. Throw it to Waddle. Throw it to Achane. Hand it off to Mostert. Throw it to Jonnu Smith. Obviously this line's indicative of that Tua return. Otherwise, I think you'd see it be a little bit more in Arizona's favor. But I do think that with Tua coming back, we're going to see a resurgence of this Miami offense. Arizona's been one of these teams that are up and down, as Tom likes to point out.
Like a seesaw, maybe.
I think he had mentioned that they haven't won consecutive games in an extended period of time, and obviously they won last week against the Chargers in a tough divisional matchup. So I am going to take Miami, and I think they cover as well, win by 4 more points at home. So come on, Tua. Stay upright, baby. Stay safe.
I was going to pick the Cardinals, but for that stat alone, which I gave to you guys last week, and I immediately forgot, I got to pick Miami also. I think Kyler Murray's playing pretty well right now, but there's still some inconsistency on that team, and we might see it this week, and they're going to lose because they can't win back-to-back games.
I'm going to pick regardless of that stat. I think Miami's going to win at home.
To a return, people are going to be crazy. Miami and Jacksonville. Well, there's another one. And LA fans. I just feel like I don't know what it is. They don't.
Which LA fans?
They don't have the fans. Don't. No offense, whoever is listening, if they're any of these fans. If you're at those kind of games,
listener count just went from 2 to 1.
It can't be as electric as the Green Bay game or a Pittsburgh game. You just look at it on the TV and you're like,
Tom just doubling down on it too.
I'm
not going to stop there.
Is there anybody in the stands? So I don't think home has that much of a factor. But go on. Sorry.
This is Miami.
I'm also on Miami. I agree with Jesse. I think offense is going to be humming. Obviously, there could be some rust there, but I think they pretty much got all their guys. I think Waddle and Tyreek and are healthy. Both the backs with Mostert and Achane are healthy.
Waddle was questionable.
He is. Okay. Doesn't matter. I like them to really come out firing, and it just feels like it's like that is their identity. Is this like very sort of high speed offense, right? In a very literal sense, like they're on the ball quick. They have very fast guys at every position. Love the points in this game. We don't pick points, but over under is currently at 45.5. Could see this really getting run up there with Kyler kind of chasing throughout the game. If it does go that route, so keep that in mind.
All right, all on Miami. Great.
Yep, Arizona by a lot.
Watch out for Budda Baker coming like a heat-seeking missile for Tua in the backfield.
That is not the guy that Tua wants to run into. That press conference was a bad look too. IMO.
What?
Just the Guardian cap. I don't know if you saw it. If you get a chance after the pod, look it up. Tua was asked if he'd wear a Guardian cap and was very dismissive of it. And just said personal choice as to why he wouldn't be wearing one.
It'd make me feel better.
I think it would make everyone.
So,
apparently, I think it would make everyone except for Tua feel better.
Yeah.
So Tua gonna Tua.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
All right, Buffalo at Seattle +3.
I do want to ding 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 ding. This is my weather game of the week. There is an atmospheric hose on Seattle right now, or that will be this weekend. So
hose in Seattle.
Keep your picks in with the rain. Yeah, I'll pick here. I think that what game did Josh Allen have he didn't have a concussion, but we all saw his head hit the ground. Was that a rainy game?
No, that was in Houston
when he denied the concussion.
And it wasn't raining. I feel like there was mist or something was going on there.
I believe it's
Josh Allen is like Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable. He cannot be touched by water, otherwise shit just goes haywire.
Well, I was going to say, if that game was rainy and they played so bad, terrible bad, poorly, I was going to say.
Terrible bad, poorly.
I was going to pick Seattle. But if it wasn't raining, I don't know. So I think
They also played bad against the zone in the first half last week. So, like, there's
I'm going to go the Bills are playing well. I'm going to go Seattle. I think James Cook might be a little banged up still. And Walker is just a really good running back. Gino, among the best in the league passing. Let's go with Seattle at home in a shitty game.
Buffalo.
Anybody familiar with that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Buffalo.
Enough said. I'm on Buffalo. -3.
Yeah, I am as well. I think Amari Cooper adds a different dynamic to this offense that they
Metcalf's out,
desperately
too.
needed. A guy that can create separation other than Khalil Shakir. Keon Coleman's still kind of finding his own, but Josh Allen needs that guy he can throw the ball to. Seattle obviously played really well last week in Atlanta, coming off 3 tough losses to the Lions, the Giants, and the Niners. So they're going to be playing better, but this Bills team is really good. I think they're the better team. I think they get it done on the road. So I'm going to take Jalen and the Bills.
No turnovers. You think that'll change this week for Josh Allen?
I like
Talking
With
yourself
that,
into it,
with
Tom?
those, what did you call that? It was an atmospheric hose.
Yeah. It's a they happen on the West Coast.
I'd
And-
love to see a graphic of that.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull one up here on my phone. It's an
Hose
interesting
job.
It's just moisture coming off the Pacific, just a hose, and that's what causes really high snow amounts in the
Pacific Northwest.
yeah, and California. Really, I mean it's all right.
Borgo, were you on Seattle as well?
He hasn't picked yet.
This is
Oh, you
witchcraft.
haven't picked that.
Oh,
Borgo's like, was I on Seattle?
do you want me to be on Seattle, Luke? No, I kind of do like the Bills here. It's just a couple safeties out for Seahawks. Metcalf's out. I see the stars aligning for Buffalo. So give me the Seahawks. Yeah, good idea, Luke. Okay, I'm fading myself. There's a genuine fade.
Wow.
The genuine self fade there. I was really bought into the Bills.
I have 2 scratch outs for you on that game. I had you written down for Seattle when you hadn't picked. Then you picked Buffalo, switched you over, and now I got you back on Seattle.
You knew I was going to fade myself. That's how locked in you are right now.
All right, so I misspoke with the atmospheric hose. I think that might be.
Oh no!
It's an atmospheric river. An atmospheric river is a narrow corridor of filament or concentrated moisture in the atmosphere. Other names for the phenomena are tropical plume, tropical connection, moisture plume, and
None of those
it's
do it
in the Pacific Northwest or Pacific West.
I prefer hose.
Yeah.
Trademark.
That's a missed opportunity, I think, too. Yeah, I like mine.
I think it constitutes the same thing, right? A hose, a river.
Yeah, well, it's a concentrated it's not. Yeah, so it's like a hose. It's not a mist setting. It's like more of a jet.
Right.
Yeah,
All right, moving on.
if you're familiar with that.
New Orleans at the LA Chargers,
Atmospheric
-7 points. The New Orleans are going to be without Derek Carr once again. We saw how that worked out for them against the Denver Broncos on the Thursday night game last week. It was a blowout.
Do they have another backup, or is it just Rattler?
Why is he not playing? What happened to him?
He's got an oblique injury. But yeah, I mean, the Chargers coming off a tough divisional game against Arizona. They're going to be looking for a win here.
Wait, are you going first right now?
Yeah.
You
I'm
didn't
taking.
announce it.
Oh, sorry. I don't usually when I pick first.
Keep going.
7 points. But yeah, I'm taking the Chargers at home.
I wanted to pick first because I gotta go get another seltzer water.
I'm feeling stupid with these picks.
Go ahead and pick Borgo, and then
No,
Yeah.
Tom's riding a wave of stupidity right now. I'll let him get it out.
No, go ahead.
I'm definitely not going to spice this one up. I feel like I've been taking some shifty picks here, but I like the Chargers at home. They're gonna come out and ball. J Herb, Smurfing the herb.
I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. I really expected them to take advantage of the first game off the bye last week against Arizona, and they're just very stagnant. But like them to take advantage of a weaker opponent right here with 5 straight losses for New Orleans after starting 2-0, and people were like, who is this team? They're the
Pretenders.
Saints. And side note on Derek Carr, while watching that game last week against the Broncos, Mariah's mom, who does not watch football, they had shown Derek Carr on the sideline, and she's like, that guy's wearing eyeliner. That guy's wearing eyeliner. And it was just so funny to see someone so adamant about the fact that he's wearing eyeliner. And it's just like, if you're obviously an NFL fan at all, that's obviously a very known thing about Derek Carr. But when you see it, someone else's reaction to it for the first time, it's like watching a child open presents on Christmas morning. It's really makes you feel good, makes you feel warm on the inside.
Maybe he really does wear eyeliner. That's kind of what I think.
She was convinced of it.
All right, I'm last here. Yeah, I was feeling crazy earlier. I think Chargers bounce back here. I was worried about the Chargers scoring points because they have nobody. Herbert
very real fear, honestly.
Yeah, they're playing well. Like Herbert's playing well, and the run game's okay. But like their offenses,
They're having trouble finding the end zone.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I saw a stat. Herbert threw for over like 350 yards, and they didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
That's good. That's promising to see, though.
Yeah, like they're moving the ball.
We know what he's capable of.
Yeah, and I think
that's why Jim Harbaugh's offense obviously is going to be a little bit more tame than maybe what he had previously with Brandon Staley at the helm. But their team's now more defined by defense, by running the ball, which is benefiting them, I believe.
Yeah.
So, to see him put up 350 yards through the air is good to see.
By this time in the year, and you kind of know like the bad teams, and there seems to be quite a few, but like Saints seem like Saints seem like one of those bad teams, and you got to pick against them whenever you can.
They've made themselves known.
It is known.
All right, next game, the Bears at the Commanders, plus 2.5. Bears 2.5 point favorites on the road.
Not big enough. If you check out our other video, you will see I'm pretty heavily on the Bears here. I think we will go into Washington and take care of business.
Yeah, I think obviously if Jaden Daniels is playing in this game, I think this line is Borgo, I think you pointed out in the last podcast. I think Washington was originally the favorite prior to that injury. And obviously that has a very real effect on what we're seeing with the Bears being favored by 2.5 here. and I think it'll translate to the actual game itself as well. I think this bodes very well for the Bears. This is an opportunity they need to take advantage of with Daniels out and get a win here. And like I said, really focus on building a cushion going into those division games that are going to be really, really tough at the end of the year. Not saying we can't win those games and even, improve our standing in the division with those games. Obviously, that's how it's going to be done with this division is you have to win those division matchups. But the cushion and the confidence that you can build in the next 3 games against Washington without Daniels, a struggling Arizona team, despite having just beat the Chargers, it seems like they aren't necessarily meshing super well offensively, and their defense isn't, all world. They're scrappy, but that's a game I think the Bears could win. And then obviously after that, you've got New England, which is another game you would expect this team to win. So I'm taking the Bears -2.5. Like Caleb's had an 80+ QBR in the last 2 games. Like, would love to see him continue to protect the ball, play consistent, take what the defense is giving you, and when those shots are available, do not be afraid to take a shot to these guys that you got on the outside. These are real weapons, and you give them an opportunity to make some plays while running the ball well, staying balanced.
Can they play now? I'm ready.
Same.
Yeah, I'm on the Bears as well.
Works.
Morgo, are you gonna do something dumb here?
Give me Chicago.
Chicago Bears.
There's
No.
All right, we got 4 games left here. Carolina at Denver -10 points.
Bryce Young coming in to play because of Andy Dalton car crash that sprained his wrist. I mean,
damn, I missed this headline.
Is this like a fake? This is fake?
I legit have not heard anything about this.
Break
all the insurance companies.
I mean, I heard like he was with his kids and wife, and they got in a car crash, and he is out.
Hope everybody's okay.
Oh yeah, I mean a sprained wrist. That seems a little bit. I knew about the other family members, but sprained wrist, weird injury. Did not play good last week. Bryce Young coming in. Is that enough being behind Andy Dalton a couple weeks to kind of be like, all right, I'm ready to take this thing and cover? I don't expect them to win, but to cover is kind of my question here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
It's the name of the game.
And oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna pick Carolina for right now, but you guys might convince me otherwise. 11 for the Broncos. It's the same kind of boat that Chargers are in. They're not a great scoring offense. Their defenses are better than their offense, and I know based on fantasy again here, Sutton didn't have a target last week. And I started it.
That's who Borgo wants me to take.
That stuff.
In our trade.
And that's your best wide receiver, and he didn't even get a target. So
he's due. Statistically due.
Yeah, he's still projected 10 points or something crazy.
On that note, Tom, and this kind of plays into my pick here, and I have a feeling this is going to be one of those monologues that is, it has the power to sway people a lot, right? And I have a feeling this is all you're going to need to come over to the Denver side is Sean Payton's a mean guy. He's just a dickhead, an asshole, doesn't give a shit about his number 1 receiver getting a target. He doesn't care about Bryce Young, and what he's trying to do and make a name for himself and, potentially find himself a spot next year or,
I think he cares about that.
Reposition himself with the ability to come in. You're right, Borgo. He does care, but what he cares about is preventing that from happening. He does not want good things to happen to other people. And that's just the kind of asshole that he is. And for that reason, I see Denver, who's won 4 out of 5. They're 5-2 against the spread this year, taking care of business at home against Carolina, just beating the living dog shit out of them.
Yeah, then you throw
and
Bo
people are
Nix
gonna
on
be
top of that, and he's kind of an asshole. That's
yeah, no, both of them. They're both little shitheads.
a tough team.
But you know what? They're balling right now, and that defense seems legit. Which, you know, there's not a lot to love on Carolina's offensive side, and going against tough defense, it's not adding up for me. So I'm gonna go Denver -10 here. Tom, you want me to switch over?
I guess it doesn't really apply because Andy.
I'm gonna go Denver. Yeah, I think you're right. This is stupid. Why would I ever pick? I just got done saying we are figuring out who the bad teams are, and you got to pick against them. This is a clear Broncos, and I think the line is.
I can see Jesse's mind, his third eye, that he's just like, I want to pick Carolina so fucking bad right now, and that he's just searching for the answers deep within.
No, I'm on Denver. I'm on Denver in this one.
Wargo's doing the same thing.
These big spreads are freaky, dude. I don't like 11 points. That's a lot.
33-10 against New Orleans.
A lot of points.
34-18 against the Raiders. They beat Tampa Bay 26-7.
Yeah.
And Carolina's defense is bad. Very bad.
Just a bad team.
All right, so Broncos all around.
Broncos,
That's a smart move, boys. Thank you for bringing me back.
Kansas City at Las Vegas +10.
That's a dub for Carolina right there. There's no – after that speech that I just gave, I'm so full of my fucking self. There's no way Carolina doesn't cover that.
Well, let me tell you – oh, yeah, go. I'm not going first.
Okay, I'm going to go I need to look at something. If anybody else has any strong feelings out of the game.
Well, I was going to say – no, go ahead, Jesse.
I'm going with Las Vegas.
Let's go.
I've picked the favorites in every game to this point.
And Minshew's playing as a backup.
What?
Minshew is playing as a backup.
To
No,
who?
he's back.
Aiden
Minshew's back.
O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell's hurt,
out.
I'm pretty sure.
Right. So he's backing him up.
No, Aiden O'Connell's out.
Right. And
Yeah,
the backup's
anyways.
playing.
An interesting way of putting this, Borgo, is saying that Gardner Minshew is starting as quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders in this game. I don't know what you're saying. He's
better as a backup.
He's backing up Aiden O'Connell. What are you
trying to make him be a backup, even though he didn't come in and win as a backup last week?
This is
a backup quarterback.
This is a divisional game, and Las Vegas always seems like they have something on the Chiefs, at least if my memory serves me correctly, going back to last year. So I think Max Crosby gets after Patrick Mahomes, and I think they keep it close in this one. So I'm going to go Las Vegas here.
But that defense is just Max Crosby.
I'm still on Las Vegas.
They got Christian Wilkins.
Chiefs.
And that's literally the only other person.
Luke, what was your thought?
I was just double checking Jesse's.
If you'll recall back to last week, every time I was on the Raiders, the opposite of whatever happened, right? And we were all on the Rams, and I was like, "Ooh, like I can't take the Raiders," and then the Raiders cover.
Wasn't Raiders one of the teams you were like, or no, that you were like, I'm never picking them again. They've always. And
here I am. I'm picking them.
Back at the well.
I was double checking Jesse's gut instinct there regarding Raiders and recent matchups against the Chiefs. and how they've fared. And they are 2-5 against the spread in matchups against the Chiefs, and those
Feels better than that, doesn't it?
For Vegas, yeah.
Feels better than
well, there's a couple here that weren't
Did we
necessarily
Christmas
close,
last year, right?
I like where Jesse's head's at. Kansas City 6-0, 5-1 against the spread this year. It feels like they might be due for just a little bit of a let up. Not necessarily that they're going to lose the game or anything, but maybe that just Vegas keeps it close. It seems like Crosby has this like hard on about playing against Mahomes. Like he really gets up for that, and he is the type of guy who, when he's like really motivated, it can be just him that makes a difference, and it can like wreck a game. So I'll go with Jesse on the Raiders here.
Morgs?
I already made my pick.
Who?
Chiefs.
I didn't hear that. I was probably talking.
Nah, I made it kind of quiet.
Yeah, I was gonna go Raiders, and then there's like I think that them getting
Bring to him, Luke.
possibly getting Devontae Adams, or not Devontae Adams.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
I was gonna say let him figure it out.
I wouldn't have gotten it. Yeah, I think that's kind of like given. I don't know if he's going to be playing this week though. But
I could see this DeAndre Hopkins edition turning out a lot like the Juju one did for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because when Juju joined, I was like, oh, I love that pickup. And he's got like 3 catches in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
well, you said, Chiefs.
I could be wrong.
5-1 against the spread.
You are wrong. He had a big game after Rashee Rice went down.
Get him.
I don't see them letting off the gas, and I don't see this is their first loss. But you said you were just talking cover. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs here.
Okay.
Sunday Night Football. Dem boys at Dem 49ers. -4 points.
Oh, my.
Also of note, the Chiefs do have like their third string running back in, right? If Hunt doesn't go. Sorry. We can move on. It's fine. I'm not changing my pick. So.
I think Dallas is coming off a bye, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do it.
I'm going to go with Dallas here.
I agree.
Is
No,
Deebo
I don't agree. I'm going 49ers. I'm very split this week.
Niners are sitting at 3-4 right now. Who would have thunk that at the beginning of the year? I am gonna as well go with Dallas coming off the bye.
Smart.
The Niners lost to the Rams.
Yeah, and the Cardinals and the Vikings and whoever they lost to last week.
Vikings isn't obviously that. Vikings, looking back on that now, is not that big a deal.
But it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close with the Vikings.
True. That was an ass whooping.
23-17?
No, it was more than that. Wasn't it?
Nope.
No. Well,
It felt like an ass whooping.
It felt worse than that.
Yeah, that's fair. They did.
49ers really haven't played anybody good
That's not how I remember it, at least, but that is close.
in one.
It's a close game.
Everybody's on Dim Boys.
Tom's on San Francisco.
I'll ride with Tom.
Let's do it.
Wasn't Brock Purdy getting yelled at
Yeah.
He had a talking to in the locker room with Kyle Shanahan.
He was a bad boy.
Do you know who you are? You're Mr.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
I see him bouncing back. Hopefully, Debo can get over this bronchitis that he's got. Walking bronchitis is going around right now. People are in their emergency room.
I think he has pneumonia.
Oh, well, something is going around.
Walking bronchitis is Savannah's on her little event out in Greece right now, and everybody's sick as heck.
Yeah. I had it, but I got over it like a beast.
Not a babe. All right. Let's close this puppy out, huh?
Monday Night Football.
Huh?
New York Giants at Pittsburgh, minus 6.5 points.
Why are the Giants in all these primetime games?
6.5 for Pittsburgh. Holy shit.
Because they're one of the bigger markets, Tom.
Well, they're ass.
I'm glad this game falls on Monday Night Football, not necessarily because I'm excited to watch it, but it gives me an opportunity to highlight one of my favorite things from last week, and that was Mike Tomlin going full galaxy brain, right? And I mean, in a moment when literally every single person is like, what the hell are you doing? Don't ruin a good thing, let Justin Fields ride this out. You're 4-2. You got a solid defense. Everything seems to be clicking. And Tomlin's like, no, we're going to start Russell Wilson. And hand up, I was like, what an idiot. What an idiot. I guilty as charged. But again, Tomlin, galaxy brain. He's like, everyone, and when I say you, I'm speaking as Tomlin. And when by you, I mean literally every single person, you're all idiots because you don't know what I know. And for us to not trust this guy of all guys, he literally does not have losing seasons. He doesn't have any of them. They've had 3 coaches in Pittsburgh since pre-Vietnam, right? Like, what in the hell is going on there? How can a single organization be so competent and just know when to pull these strings? It's incredible. I commend Tomlin. I love him as a coach. He had that one incident where he tried to trip a guy on a kickoff return. It was weird. People forget about that.
Competes.
But I don't.
Guy competes.
Right? Yeah. But my God, he was wheeling around his what's in a wheelbarrow the other night, and it was great to see. I don't like Russell. I would have loved to have seen Fields continue to play, but for him to just make that call against everybody else's better judgment is amazing. And I'm going to take Pittsburgh 6.5 here. I think this could be like really interesting to see how this plays out, because if Russell can come back and be close to what he had been prior to leaving Seattle, I think this Pittsburgh team could be really dangerous and really tough. Najee is still surprisingly young. Him and Jalen Warren in the backfield, if they can play Pittsburgh football where they run the ball and then they've got Pickens on the outside, I think it could be interesting. That guy is, I can't remember who, it might have been Collinsworth or whoever was calling the game. It was maybe it was Tirico. It's not really 50-50 balls with Pickens. It doesn't seem like it's more like 70-30s, his hands are just like magnets. If you can get the ball close to him, he's going to come down with it a majority of the time. So again, props to Mike Tomlin. That was incredible. I'm taking Pittsburgh 6.5.
You make a lot of good points there, Lou.
Rant over.
You make a lot of good points there. What happened with New York last week against the Eagles? I didn't watch that game. Can anybody explain it to me?
I think Saquon just took over, and Jalen Hurts didn't have any turnovers.
Why did they only score 3 points, though?
Huh?
New
York Giants only scored 3 points.
Yeah, I don't know what I was,
Neighbors didn't play. And Philly had 8 sacks in the game. could not protect Daniel Jones. And I think they had 5 sacks in the first half. And it was and that was just sacks. I mean, they were pressuring him on every single play. Obviously,
Daniel Jones was like,
he had the Tomlin eyes going.
TJ Watt's probably fully torqued already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after what we saw Pittsburgh do to the Jets on Sunday Night Football last week, in a game where we all had picked the Jets, right? Unknowing how Russ was going to perform, all of us believed it was going to be, like Luke said, Tomlin wasn't making the right decision. We were all dead wrong. But, this Pittsburgh defense is really good as well. So I don't know. If they couldn't protect Daniel Jones against the Eagles, I don't see them being able to protect him against the Steelers as well. So I'll take Pittsburgh at home.
Morgan.
Tom needs a little more input before he's ready to bless us with this pick.
I'll take the Giants, dude. Fuck it.
Yeah.
He's got that dog in him.
Any reasoning?
Just because I'm an idiot.
I just told you he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to think less. Not every successful person is brilliant.
Y'all had some
Sometimes
good points.
They're just dumb enough to
That's
make the
true.
right decisions.
And Tomlin, did you see that tip of the cap to Rodgers when he got him he called a timeout before Rodgers could hike the ball to get 12 men on the field? I
saw Rodgers crying about it.
Yeah, he sees everything, and in Luke's case, I think he sees the future as well. I think he might.
If you could open your eyes that wide, you might be able to see the future too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go hit here. I like not Mike Vrabel. Oh Jesus,
Brian Dable.
Yeah. Oh, those are pretty similar.
I messed it up.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach, but this roster just disappointing.
So
they do have neighbors back this week.
Yeah,
which could be big, could be helpful.
So that was one thing that I was thinking of. That was not what my additional explanation was going to be. But the Giants also have a pretty decent defense. Kayvon Thibodeau's not currently playing, but their secondary coverage, pass coverage is pretty good. I don't know about pass protect, whatever. Sorry. But I think, Russ is going to regress a little bit. We're looking at 1 week, right? Throwing balls to George Pickens, having everything go his way. That works for a little while. But again, Giants have a pretty stout defense across the board, though it's a little banged up. They're going to give Russ problems.
This could be a win for you, Works. That could be a win. You never know.
I'm looking into I was looking for a reason to take him, and I found it in the defense.
Quick thing that I just thought about. Since Russell started this week, did you guys see him? It's like I don't know how long ago it was, but he was doing a whole sequence by himself on the field. Look that one up. He was kneeling. He was calling plays, and it was just him. And he was running and throwing a fake ball, and it was.
Wait, the ball was.
There was no ball. I don't think there
was no ball.
Visualizing. Visualizing.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
I was what's the point of a fake ball?
It seemed like the boys were respecting Russ a little bit. He was dapping guys up on the sidelines.
Yeah. He's a character. But yeah, look.
I swear to God, if he drops some sort of catchphrase in the next, week or two, I'm gonna be so uncomfortable.
I hope
I honestly, at this point, if Tomlin was go, play in traffic, I'd be like, okay, we got it.
All right, picks of the week. Picks of the week.
Locks.
Yeah, locks.
All those
locks of the week.
just locks.
Lock it up.
Yeah, I'm torn right now between my two. So maybe if somebody else is feeling good about something, I mean, I'm honestly just thinking about riding this Pittsburgh thing, and just really just trusting in Tomlin. It's either that or I'm going with Miami 3.5. I think Miami could come back out of the gates really fast with Tua. Tua might be in a state of mind where he doesn't even know he didn't just play for the last few weeks. He might just be like, I've been playing this whole time. What are you guys talking about? Why would I wear a Guardian cap? I'm perfectly fine. All jokes aside, I think I'm going to go. No, I can't. I'm going Pittsburgh -6.5.
I'm going to go with my gun here and go Vikings tomorrow.
Vikings.
God damn.
Go
That's
with
some
my
dumb
boys.
picks here. Just looking at the board. Good
Yeah,
lord.
I was either doing Vikings or Chargers.
Dude, Jets -7. Yikes.
I might flip a coin. I got a coin in here? Nah. I'm just
I'm gonna go me.
You're going to go Minnesota with him?
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
What? Get off me, man. Last week.
I might switch to the Rams.
Oh shit.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, Tom. I didn't see you there. Oh,
We're good.
didn't see you there.
I am gonna go with our boys,
Cowboys?
Chicago.
See,
Oh,
that's the
I
thing.
don't
I
know.
want to lock them, but I can't because then
Well, yeah.
we know what happens then.
All right, I won't pick them. I'll pick somebody else.
No, you can go
All right.
ahead.
I already got you locked in.
Yeah, you hit locks.
You're locked. You're going.
Damn, I was gonna keep
now.
track of the picks.
Yeah,
because
I mean, I
was-
locked them in against the Jags. That worked out.
Okay, lock them in then.
You want?
It was between them and Cincinnati, if I'm being straight up.
Straight up. All right, boys.
All right. Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you for
Week 8.
tuning in. A little bit of an extended session, but we don't have any teams on bye this week, so one extra game that we had to pick here, and I think we offered and provided some some pretty good insights, a little bit of commentary. Got a little bit off the wall sometimes, as it always does. We got atmospheric hoses. We got Tomlin's galaxy brain.
Kooky shit going on here.
So yeah, we had fun. We hope you had fun too. Don't forget to check out our page on X. You can find us at Chi-Town Lowdown. Give us a
Active.
follow. We will post our picks, our lock picks on there. We may get to a point where we post our picks on there as well. I'm not sure if we have enough character count without the premium subscription to be able to do that. But we'll look into that. Yeah, and if you want to communicate with us, let us know what you think about our picks, about our content. You can leave a comment on the YouTube page. You can leave a tag on X as well. So that concludes our picks against the spread segment for Week 8. We look forward to a Bears victory over Washington, and we'll see you next week. Bear down.
Bear down.